Hello everyone. Today I will discuss one most important chapter of class 11, which is the motion in a plane or the vectors. This is very important topic. Throughout class 11 or 12 there are so many applications. That's why you have to learn this chapter properly. So let's go to the topic. We read about the physical quantities. There are two types of physical quantities. One is scalar, another is the vector. So what are the scalar quantities? The quantities which has only magnitude but no direction. As an example, distance, speed, mass, time, etc. Out of this, any one or two I am telling. See, in case of distance, suppose the distance of these 2 points is I am giving 10 meters. See, to express the distance between these 2 points, if we say only 10 meters, then it is okay. To express the distance, only this magnitude is needed. We don't need to say any kind of direction. That's why this quantity is called the scalar quantity. In case of time, think about you are doing a work for 2 hours. Okay. So to express the time, only this magnitude is needed. No need to say any kind of direction. So that's why this time, distance, speed, whatever, that quantities are called the scalar quantities. Now, what about the vector quantities? The quantities which has only magnitude, not only magnitude, magnitude as well as the direction. Example, displacement, velocity, force, acceleration, weight, momentum, etc. So out of this, any one or two I am taking. Suppose the velocity. See, why this velocity is a vector quantity. Example. So one example, suppose a car A is moving with a velocity 10 km per hour. Okay. So if this statement is correct? No. 10 km per hour only if we say, then this represent this is the speed which is scalar. But this is the velocity. So to express the velocity, we need to say one direction means due east or towards east, towards west or whatever. In any kind of direction you have to say. So to express the velocity, we have to say the magnitude as well as the direction. Okay. So that's why this velocity is called the vector quantity. Okay. One more example I am giving. See, if you say the position of your house is 2 km or 3 km away from the railway station. Is this statement correct? No, this statement is not correct. Why it is not correct? See, this position of your house cannot be located until you say 2 km towards north from the railway station. Okay, are you getting my point? You have to say 2 km or 3 km towards north or towards south from the railway station. Now this statement is correct. So you have to say the magnitude as well as the direction. That's why this displacement, velocity, force, these quantities are the vector quantities. Now, why do we need the vectors? There is a very important concept over here. What about the one-dimensional motion? One-dimensional motion means when an object moves in a particular direction, means in one direction, then you can say this motion is 1D motion or one-dimensional motion. See, in this one-dimension motion, how many direction is possible? Two direction. Why? See, this body can move along this direction or along this direction also. So we can say the direction of motion or number of direction, we can say this is 2. But in case of two-dimensional motion, what is 2D? You will ask, what is 2D? 1D means when the body is moving along any one direction, along the straight line. Then we can say this is a one-dimension motion. So the number of direction is 2. But 2D, one example I am giving. Suppose, see, we know about the x-axis and one axis or y-axis. See, suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So this plane, we can say this is the 2D plane. Okay. along x-axis I am giving, here it is I am giving y-axis. When a body is moving in the plane of 2D, means in 2D plane, in that case, how many direction is possible? See, suppose first one, the body is moving on the 2D plane. How many direction? This direction, this direction, this direction. See all the motions on the 2D plane. So we can say here so many directions are possible when the body is moving on a 2D plane, two-dimensional plane. See the concept. Here to deal with this situation, we need one new physical quantity which is called the vector. Means by vector we can say the magnitude as well as direction. Understood? To deal with this situation, to deal this type of situation, we need one new physical quantity which is called the vector, by which we can represent the magnitude and the direction also. That's why we need the vector. Clear? Next heading is the geometrical representation of vectors. Means how to represent the vectors. To represent the vector, we need this vector is represented by the arrow. Means where this length represents the magnitude and this arrow represents the direction. Okay? This length represents the magnitude and this arrow represents the direction. So how to write? If I say the vector is A, how to write? If the vector is A, then you will write the A and give the arrow over A. Okay? This is how you have to represent the vector. Otherwise, another notation also there. If you write like this in bold letter, this is also the representation of vector. Okay? This is how you can represent it, or this is the representation of vector. How to represent the magnitude of a vector? This magnitude of a vector is represented by the mod. See, mod A means it represents the magnitude of A. Now, if I give the name over O and A, this O is called the tail and this is called the head. Okay? Tail and head. Now, I will give one example. You know, this is north, south, east and west. Suppose a car is moving with a velocity 50 km per hour. How to represent it? See, I am taking this is O point, this is A point. Means O is the initial point and A is the final point. The car is moving with 50 km per hour towards east. That's why this direction I have given. So if I choose 1 centimeter of length is the velocity of 10 km per hour, then we have to divide it, the total, into 5 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this all are will be 1 centimeter. In this 1 centimeter represents the velocity of 10 km per hour. Okay. So this total means this 5 segment represents completely the velocity of the car towards east. Where this O is called, means how to represent the vector? This vector OA and give one arrow over OA, then this will represent the velocity of the car which is 50 km per hour. This is how you have to represent it. And this O is called the initial point and this A is called the final point. So the velocity is represented by V and give one arrow. Displacement D, give arrow. Force F, arrow. This is how you have to represent the vector quantities. Okay. Next heading is the position vector. By diagram I am trying to explain. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Think about a position of an object at time t is at P. So what is the position vector of an object, of that object at a time t? This is the origin. Draw the line from O to P and give the arrow. This OP, give the arrow over here and this is represent the position vector. Okay. So the position vector is the vector which represents the position of an object with respect to the origin. Okay. Now what about the displacement vector? Next topic लगाइए displacement vector. Okay. What about the displacement vector? Let's do the diagram, which is x-axis and this is y-axis. Okay. What I told about the position vector? Position vector is consider the position of an object at a time t is at p, and at a time t2, suppose this is t1. At time t1 the position of an object is at p. Okay. And at time t2 the position of an object is at q. Okay. So what is the position vector of p? Draw the line from O to P, give the arrow. And what is the position vector of the object at time t2? That will be O to P, give the arrow over here. Okay. Now what is the displacement vector? Draw the line from P to Q. You can draw the line from Q to P also. That is also correct. That time you have to write this PQ is the displacement vector. Okay. This PQ is called the displacement vector, or you can write this QP also the displacement vector. This QP also this displacement vector. That time you have to give the direction from Q to P. Clear? When you are writing P to Q, then write PQ and give the vector over here. And when you are writing this QP, then give the vector notation over QP and give the direction from Q to P. Okay? This PQ or QP represents the displacement vector. Next heading is the zero vector. Zero vector, is this possible? Yes, in vector this zero vector is possible. How? Zero vector means where the magnitude is zero, but what about the direction? Here in this case the zero vector, it does not have any specific direction. Means the direction, we can say the direction is arbitrary. Okay. Magnitude is zero, but the direction is arbitrary. One example I am giving. See, suppose you say write the acceleration vector of an object which is moving with a constant velocity. What will be the vector? Means how to represent the vector? Here the body is moving with constant velocity, means acceleration will be how much? Acceleration will be zero. Means you have to write this zero and give the vector sign. This is the zero vector. Now what is equal vectors? The vectors which has same magnitude and the same direction. These type of vectors are called the equal vectors. Example, suppose two cars moving with a speed 10 km per hour towards east. Okay. See, car A and B both have speed, or both have the velocity 10 km per hour towards east. Okay. Means they are equal vectors. Parallel vectors, the vectors whose directions are same, that are called the parallel vectors. In the same case, what are the anti-parallel? Anti-parallel vectors means in case of parallel vectors, what about the angle? Angle is 0 degree. Anti-parallel means suppose two vectors A and the another vector is B. They are anti-parallel, means this theta will be how much? 180 degree. This type of vectors are called the anti-parallel vectors. What is collinear vector? Collinear vectors are the vectors which lie along the same line. This is A vector, this is B vector. Okay, they are along the same line. So these vectors are called the collinear vector. Now what about the coplanar vector? See, if we take two vectors A and B, they are making some angle, suppose 60 degree. if these two vectors lie on the same plane, then we can say these vectors are the coplanar vectors. See, by one example I am telling. Suppose this is two vectors A and B. They are making angle 60 degree. How they are coplanar? See, if we take these two vectors like this, and if we consider a plane like this, then see, these two vectors are lying on a same plane. So two vectors will be coplanar. If we keep that vector like this, then consider this plane like this, then also these two vectors will be coplanar vectors. So like this, then see, consider this plane, or this is how you can take. Okay. So these two vectors will be coplanar vectors when they lie on the same plane. So what is negative vectors? Negative vector, consider two vectors, one is A. If the other vector is of same magnitude but opposite direction, means like this, B. So this B vector, we can say this is the negative of A. This is called the negative vector. Mean the vector which has the same magnitude of another vector but the direction is opposite. These are the negative vectors. Now how to represent the modulus of a vector? See, vector notation I told, this is the notation of a vector A. Now to write the modulus of a vector, you have to write by taking the mod. This modulus represents the magnitude of the vector. Means give the vector sign over here, and we can write by A also. This A represents this magnitude of the vector, and this arrow represents the direction. Now I will discuss one important topic, which is the unit vector. The unit vector is a vector whose magnitude is 1. Okay. And how to represent it? This unit vector is represented by the cap. This is called cap. And what is the use? The use of a unit vector, it is used to give the direction. Okay. And it is represented by, see, suppose if you want to find a unit vector of a vector A, suppose this is the vector A, the unit vector of A will be A unit equals to vector A divided by modulus of A. Means vector A divided by, we can write modulus of A vector, means the A, only A. A is the magnitude of the vector A. This is how we can represent it. Now in 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional case, we can write this is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So along x-axis, this unit vector is represented by I cap. Along y-axis, it is represented by j cap. Along z-axis, it is represented by k cap. Now if I say the question, if I ask one question, suppose a car is moving with 15 km per hour along x-axis. How to represent it? See, the car A is moving with 15 km per hour. So it is just velocity. So V equals to, we can write this 15, means first you have to write the magnitude. But in left side you are giving the vector notation, means this right side also you have to give the vector sign. But how? See, 15 I get, but it is moving along the x direction. So here you apply one unit vector. Why I am using here unit vector? Because unit vector means what? The magnitude is 1. So 15 into 1 will be 1. But this 15 is giving the direction also. So this is how we can represent the velocity of a car moving along the x direction with a speed 15 km per hour or meter per second, whatever. So that's why, see, here we can write this I unit equals to the vector. This is the vector. So in place of V, you can write A, whatever. This V divided by the magnitude 15. Okay. Or you can write this V also, only V. Now what is parallel shifting of vectors? See, in vector, if we take one vector which is F. Okay. Now we can shift this vector parallelly. Means you can draw the vector over here. This is also F. But you should remember one thing, this force, when I am shifting it parallelly, the force will act on the same body. Then this parallel shifting is allowed. So in vector chapter, parallel shifting is allowed when the force or whatever be the vector quantities, when it is applied on the same body. Now we can apply the parallel shifting. Now in case of, suppose the vector A is like this, so we can shift it parallelly. Like this also you can draw. Okay, this is the parallel shifting. By one example I am explaining. See, if this type of diagram is given, the A vector and B vector is given, angle between them, easily we can say this angle is 60 degree. Okay, but there is a certain rules. See here, what about the head tail I have told? This is called the head and this is the tail. So when, just check, when you are telling the angle, then check head to head or tail to tail is connected or not. Means check tail to tail or head to head is connected or not. Head to head. Here tail to tail is connected, so we can say the angle between them will be 60 degree. One thing I will discuss later. You can take this angle also, but we will not take. Why? That I am coming. Now I am discussing about the parallel shifting. Okay. See, if we give the diagram like this, suppose this angle is given 120, A vector and B vector. The question is, what will be the angle between A and B? Now check. Here, head to tail is connected. Then we can't take the angle between this and this also. Means we can't tell the angle is 120 degree. What you have to do? Now you have to apply the parallel shifting. How? See, this vector is given like this. You can draw the vector. This is the vector A. Okay. So parallel shifting means if the vector is given like this, you can shift it parallelly. This is also possible. If the vector is given like this, then you can do the, you can draw the vector like this also. Okay. So here, this vector I will draw over here. Means this is how it is given. This is how it is given. So I will draw the vector like this. Why? Because now see, this tail to tail is connected. If this angle is 120, total 180, so this angle will be 60 degree. So here, theta will be 60 degree. Remember that rules. Check when you are finding the angle, when you are calculating the angle, check tail to tail or head to head is connected or not. Okay. So here also you can ask the question. So we can shift the vector A also. Obviously possible. That I am also showing. Same results will come. Now look. See, this vector is given. Now this was the original diagram. The angle was 120. Now you can shift the vector like this. Okay. Now see again, this head to head is connected. Now how much this angle is? This is 60 degree. See, total is 180. 180 minus 120. This is also 60. So same results will come. Understood about the parallel shifting? Now one thing you will remember when you are finding the angle. Suppose here I told this angle is 60 degree. So which angle you will take? This angle. This is also angle between A and B. This is also angle between A and B. This angle will be how much? 60. This will be 120. Okay. This will be not 120. Sorry. This will be 360 minus 60. So this will be 300 degree. Okay. Because total angle is the 360 degree. But remember this one. This angle will be less than equals to. This is means theta will be less than equals to 0 or greater than equals to 0 or less than equals to 180. Means here this angle, which one you have to take? This 60, because it is less than 180, but this 300 is more than 180. Okay, clear? So always you will take the smaller angle. So today's class up to this. This is all about the introduction of the vector. In next video I will explain about the addition and subtraction of the vectors. Okay, thank you.